I'm Shane Johnson, a wine enthusiast with a passion for cooking, and you're watching Delicious Wine and Food with the Cork Door. Alright, so I'm with my good friends Carlos and Sybil, and we're going to have ourselves a good old-fashioned walk-off, meaning we're going to make our own homemade guacamole. And as I said earlier, there are no set recipes for guacamole, so whatever you want to add to it is fine, and be creative as possible. That's the idea. You might come up with something even better than what we come up with today. But to start with, would you like to start us off?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I have to say I've had Carlos's guacamole before, and it is fantastic, and I think he has a secret ingredient that I would have loved to steal from him, but I promised him I wouldn't use it. So Carlos, without further ado, I'm going to let you go ahead and make your guacamole then. Looks like you got some avocados ready to go.
I have avocados, I have cilantro, I have some onions and garlic and some salt. But first, this is my secret recipe.
Yes, it is.
Orange. I'm going to use half an orange, and that's actually what I'm going to do first. So for every 3 avocados, you use half an orange. If you have 6 avocados, you'll use 1. So you squeeze that into this bowl. You get it nicely squeezed in there. So the next step is to squeeze some lime. And once again, 1 lime for every 3 avocados. So the next step is to squeeze the lime in with the orange.
So Carlos, I noticed you have one of the avocado pits in your bowl there.
That's right.
Why do you put the pit in there?
That's because the avocado is probably going to be sitting on the bowl for a few hours, and so unless you do that, the color of the avocado will turn brown.
Ah, so that's a little trick of the trade right there.
Yes, you leave 1 or 2 in there. I usually leave 1 for every 2 or 3. If I have more, I leave 2 of them. So.
All right.
Yeah, and by the way, this is going to be the winner, the best guacamole. So I'm just saying, at least in my eyes. So, anyways, you use 2 tablespoons of red onions, a quarter of a cup of fresh cilantro, and then you use 1 clove of garlic. And
awesome.
That's basically all you do. And then some diced tomatoes, preferably fresh. I didn't have time yesterday, so we had to go to the store and get them canned. But 1 or 2 teaspoons of diced tomatoes roasted, it's probably enough for what you want. So next I'm going to put the avocado into the bowl. Some really nice avocados. Right now they're in season, so that always helps. Now the trick here is you don't want to smash the avocados all the way through. You want to keep some of it, some of the consistency, as to not be too watery. So you're going to smash the avocados along with all of the ingredients, your orange, your lime, your cilantro, onion, your garlic. And then the last ingredient for my guacamole is going to be salt, and this is the main ingredient. So the more the better, trust me on that one. In my opinion, I have never had salty guacamole, so I'm going to leave that up to all of you, but I'm going to do a little taste now. Oh yeah.
Hi, I'm Sybil, and I'm going to make a guacamole with pico de gallo today. So first, I did chop some Roma tomatoes, and I added some cilantro, red onion, serrano, and a little bit of habanero in there. So I'm just going to add that to the dish.
The habanero is going to be hot.
Yes, it is. And I'm going to dice the avocado like so. into big chunks like that. Just add that into the pico de gallo. I like it chunky. This is a traditional family recipe.
Back in San Antonio?
In San Antonio, Texas. So, okay, so now you're just gonna mix it all together. And voila, there you have it. Pico de gallo guacamole. Enjoy.
All right, so I'm gonna have the winning guac right here. This is gonna be a real guac on the wall side. So Sybil, this is what we were going for, your little thumb.
Oh.
Just like that. By the way, that's pit, as we discussed earlier, how it's gonna help preserve the guac. And I'm just taking it, dropping it, using my thumb to spit it off. With a little country music in the background. This is hillbilly guacamole at its finest. Yeehaw! I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually am a musician, and I thought about writing some country and some rap music. I do like a country rap. I was going to call it crap music. It's a little guacamole. I like to start with my avocado in there first, where everybody else seems to go with a different approach. I'm going to take this out temporarily, and I'm going to just scoop my avocado in there. And I try to get every last morsel out of there, because sometimes there's a little bit that stays in there. All right, so I got all my avocado in there. Next, I've cut up and de-seeded a jalapeno. I normally like to leave the seeds in because I like it spicy, but we got a large gathering coming today, and I don't know if some people don't like things that spicy, so rather than leaving the seeds in, I went ahead and de-seeded and de-ribbed it. That's actually just one jalapeno. That's gonna be plenty. That is more than enough jalapeno. I have a bunch of cilantro. When I say a bunch, I mean like a handful. Also, I've said this before, when you dice up cilantro, you can use the stems. They have good flavor, and it doesn't hurt to include the stems, unlike parsley where the stems are not good. So I'm gonna do probably about the equivalent of 2 tablespoons of cilantro. I also like juice of 1 lime in here. Start with a half, because if you get a really juicy lime, you might decide, oh, that's too much. So start with half. And it is pretty juicy, but I think I am going to risk it to get the biscuit. I'm going to do 2 limes here. All right, should be golden. Get a little juice in there. Now, this is where I take a detour from what you've seen in the previous 2 guacs. I like to use garlic salt, and I wanted to use a lot of it because avocados are very neutral in flavor. You gotta hit it with a lot. I think Carlos made the point earlier that he's never tasted a guacamole that's been over salted, and I couldn't agree with him more. So we're gonna really put a lot of garlic salt in there. Also black pepper. Now, I have to confess, this is normally where I would stop. I would stop with black pepper and garlic salt, but today, since I'm being challenged by 2 very awesome competitors, I thought I would try to sneak in a few extra flavors. So I've got a little bit of cumin. It smells like dirty sweat socks, but it tastes really good for some reason, but it's very strong. A little goes a long way. I want to just give it just a tiny bit, just a little bit. Then I also have some cayenne pepper, just to give it a little more heat. That people go, well, I expected the heat from the jalapeno, but where does this other heat come from? Well, it's coming from a little bit of cayenne. Just a pinch, more or less. Now I need to get to mixing. I like, just like they have, I like mine smooth chunky. So a smooth chunky consistency, and then I kind of just do this whole go around in a circle and mash. You're incorporating the ingredients. Take your time, make sure you flatten out the big honking pieces of avocados. You could make this, smooth if you like. If that's what you prefer. I think I like the texture of, a few chunks here and there, and then a little bit of smoothness as well. So the last two things here. One is, gotta taste it, see where you're at, see if I've got enough garlic salt in it. That would be the one thing I probably would add if I had to. Well, I got plenty. I got plenty of hard salt. The last piece of the puzzle is, I too want to drop one of these avocado pits in, and as Carlos mentioned earlier, that's to help preserve it. And voila, Shane's guac is ready to go. All right, so Carlos has made a margarita. Happens to be a margarita I like to make as well. Since you took the lead on this one, though, why don't you tell us a little bit what kind of margarita we're dealing with?
Absolutely. This is a cucumber jalapeno margarita, and I'm gonna walk you through the process of making it, as well as let you know how much of each ingredient you should use. First, you start with your kind of tequila. Personally, I like to use silver tequila on the margarita. For this particular one, I use reposado because it brings a lot of the oaky flavor to the margarita, which I really enjoy. So I use reposado. The kind, you don't have to go overboard. You can use Herradura reposado, you can use Cabo Wabo. Shane loves to use Cabo Wabo on his margarita. Sure. Yeah. Or you can use any type of reposado as long as it's 100% blue agave. So for this specific one, I used Herradura reposado. So it takes about 2 ounces of tequila, and then you also use Cointreau or Grand Marnier. Personally, I like the Cointreau a little bit better. Grand Marnier takes it's
sweeter.
Yeah, it's a little bit too sweet for my taste.
Certainly.
Right, and so I used Cointreau. So if you use an ounce of tequila, let's just take it back to an ounce. You use 1/4 of an ounce of
Now, is this an
Cointreau.
individual measurement for drink, or are you talking about a whole pitcher? Because an ounce is not that much.
No, an ounce would be an individual measurement.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I got you. All right.
So if you use an ounce of tequila, you use 1/4 of as much of Cointreau. And personally, I like to use the same amount of lime juice, freshly squeezed. That's a step that you cannot miss. I use the same amount of lime juice as I do tequila. So if I'm using 1 ounce of tequila, I'm going to pair that with an ounce of lime juice. And then again, 1/4 of Cointreau. And the last ingredient I use is to make it a little bit sweet, is agave nectar. And agave nectar, I use anywhere between 1/4 and 1/2 ounce. That's, again, it's up to you, and depends on how sweet you like it. This particular margarita probably has right in between, maybe 0.375 of an ounce of agave nectar. Yeah. Then you just slice the jalapenos and the cucumbers. This one has been simmering on the tequila overnight.
What kind of cucumbers do you use?
I use English cucumbers.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you use the same?
I would do the same exact. Yeah.
So I buy English cucumbers, not because I know about cucumbers, but because it's what my wife gets.
I actually prefer English cucumbers. I like them over the regular cucumbers.
There you go. And then jalapenos, depending on how much margarita you're making, you can use 1 to 2 jalapenos. If you're serving for maybe 10 plus people, I would use 2. If you're serving for maybe less than 5, I think 1 is plenty.
A typical classical margarita has to have salt on the rim. Well, I thought that would be too plain and too easy. I thought we would gussy this up a little bit. And what I decided to do is I came up with a cilantro cayenne pepper salt. How you do this? You take some cilantro, peel the leaves off whole, and put it on a wax paper lined cookie sheet. And then you put your oven at 200, and you put all the cilantro leaves on this wax paper, on the cookie sheet, stick it in the oven for about 15-20 minutes, and it dehydrates the cilantro. And when it comes out of the oven, you're able to crush it up in like a mortar pestle, something like that. And then just mix some salt and then a little cayenne pepper. And you get this nice, it adds a little, that cilantro taste and also a little zip from the cayenne pepper. And so what we'll do is we'll take a little lime and we will put it around our margarita glass like this. And we'll go ahead and dip it in our little salt. Kind of working around pretty good. Make sure we get plenty of coverage. There we go, look at that. And then Carlos, you're gonna do the honors there. All right, that looks really good. All right, who's gonna taste it?
Your.
All right, I'm looking forward to this. Been looking forward to this all day. Ooh, that's good.
Yes?
That's real good. So I get all the components that you have in there. I like what the cucumber does to it. And by the way, obviously alcohol dehydrates you, and cucumbers actually have a lot of electrolytes, so that it rehydrates you. So this is the drink that dehydrates and rehydrates. It's pretty awesome.
You get the best of all worlds.
And then, oh, yes, I have a little piece of cilantro on my lip. You get a little heat from that salt, from the cayenne, and that nice cilantro taste on the salt. It's really fantastic. Excellent job.
Great. And one last thing, there is a tendency to believe that you only use crappy tequila on margaritas because the good tequila you sip it. I don't believe in that. I do believe you sip on the good tequila. On the margarita, if you don't use good tequila, you're going to feel it the next morning. So you're better off with good tequila.
Amen. All right, so Carlos is as passionate about tequila as I am about wine, and so we have 5 tequilas here that he's going to walk us through. We're going to, taste them and try them out.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, I'll be able to stand after this. So we're going to go from this, the lightest.
We probably should.
Okay.
Yes. So you have from left to right, you have your silver, your reposado, you have your añejo, and then I also have a bottle of sotol, which grows actually from a plant in Chihuahua, Mexico. The rest of it's tequila, which is from Jalisco, Mexico, which is where the blue agave grows. Yeah. Silver tequila, it's also known as blanco in Spanish. Yeah. And so basically what it is the purest form of tequila. They don't age it, usually a few weeks, at the most 2 months is what they age it. So you don't get any of the taste of any barrels, any oak or anything. It's very pure and you get the full taste of the blue agave. These two are very good kinds, Señor Rio and De Leon, are perfect silver tequilas. There are thousands and thousands of different kinds of tequila, and obviously, there are just different distilleries that make sometimes the taste and the color a little bit different. But let's go ahead and start with Señor Rio. Cheers. Cheers. And tequila is not meant to be shot, yeah. But you sip it, and you enjoy it a lot more if you sip it. And obviously, like any other drink, you have to grow the taste for it. But when you do, it becomes an amazing drink.
Very smooth. It's very good. And I happen to know that obviously this is made in Mexico, but the owners of this particular tequila are based here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Very good. This is practically the same. So we're going to skip the De Leon and we're going to move to the Repo. Yeah.
Oh, this is a good story.
Yes. Casamigos, it's actually George Clooney's tequila, and I'm not I've never been a big fan of big names in conjunction with drinks and things of that nature. Surprisingly, this tequila has been one of the best rated reposados in the industry. And the first time I tried it, I fell in love with it. I brought it to Shane one time, and Shane fell in love with it as well. So before I know, Shane and his friends are buying cases of Casamigos tequila. So we're going to go ahead and try this. The reposado is usually aged between 2 months and 12 months at the most, and that's where you get this the color, which is a little bit darker. It's that amber type of color.
Aged in oak barrel?
Oak barrel.
Okay.
Primarily white oak or oak barrel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is outstanding. So George Clooney is not only a good actor, he's good at tequila.
He did really good with Casamigos. It's one of the best ones. It's on the pricier side, Shane, but it's a great choice if you want something special. It's really smooth. You get the oak flavor, and it's not ultra sweet.
Right.
Which is what I get from a lot of the añejos, and that's the reason why I'm not a big fan of añejo. It's because they're too sweet.
Okay.
So at the beginning, I had mentioned Clase Azul was an añejo. This one is not. This is also a reposado, actually. So it is a little bit more intense than Casamigos. Pricier than Casamigos, and surprisingly, I like Casamigos better.
This is a tequila? I thought this is something that came out of your china closet.
No, this is a tequila.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it is a tequila, and it's a very well-known, very old distillery.
Okay.
And it's known for the bell.
Oh,
yes.
Time to check in.
Time to check in. Yes.
All right.
So the same process, 2 to 12 months. So it is a reposado, but as you will be able to see, this one is on the heavier side.
Just a very, very subtle hint of vanilla.
It does. Yes, it does.
And it's more. Yeah, I get kind of what it's at first on the tack it's mellow.
You get an aftertaste.
Yeah, and you get a little aftertaste. That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
like sand in your throat afterwards, but I love that feeling, and most people love the smooth feeling. So I am just bitter.
It's unusual. I think it's very unusual. It does have a lot of the alcohol burn at the back.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Yes. Lastly, I have a drink that isn't very popular. It's becoming more and more popular. It's very similar to mezcal. You've heard of mezcal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Smoky tequila.
Very. Yeah. Mezcal tastes like earth.
Well, it's not really a tequila. I'm sorry. I'm smoky.
It is technically.
Same
process
process.
tequila, but this is called sotol, and sotol grows in Chihuahua, and it's also an agave. It's just a different kind of agave. And I am not an expert on sotol. All I know is it takes about 10 to 15 years to get the plants to maturity. So the process of making this drink is very, very lengthy. In my opinion, it is probably in between an añejo tequila and a reposado tequila. So you get a little bit of the sweetness without the overpowering oak flavor.
Okay.
And some distilleries, I'm not sure if all of them do, they actually age the sotol in copper barrels as opposed to oak.
Does this come with a small yapping dog?
Yeah, if you order it, you will.
Okay. All
Yes.
right. This comes from Chihuahua. I thought.
Yes, you can order both.
I'm excited to try this. This will be new for me.
And this is the only kind of drink that I like to keep in the freezer. The rest of the tequilas, I prefer to keep room temperature.
It's not as dark.
Sotol is not. There is an añejo version of sotol which is a lot darker. Ooh. It's a lot smoother, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
And it's not as sweet as the añejo tequila, but not as dry as the silver. So it's kind of it's a nice in between.
I like it. You sold me.
All right, excellent. So thank you very much for watching.
Yes, that's right. Another successful episode of The Cork Dork. You've been watching delicious, well, in this case, tequila and food with The Cork Dork and my friend Carlos. Thank you for joining me today. It was awesome.
Thank you.
Cheers. Okay, so I'm with my good friends Carlos and Sybil.
Hi.
And we're going to have a good old-fashioned walk-off and explore the possibilities of threesome. No, I'm kidding. Cut! Alright, no. Alright, I wanted to throw you guys off balance.
So first, I'm gonna take the seed out, and you just, whoops, I'm gonna stab my hand there. That's how it's done. Do you know how to get it off on there?
I do. I think we have our first blooper.
I would do that before getting filmed.
Yeah, just go. Hi, I'm Sybil, and I'm going to show you how to make a traditional pico de gallo. It's a traditional dish that we always made in San Antonio, Texas. So first I cut the avocados in half, and I added the seed there.
Sybil, hang on. Because you're talking about pico de gallo when you're making aguacate. You're not making pico de gallo, you're making guacamole.
Yeah.
But pico gallo is stuck with pico gallo.
But you're saying I'm going to show you how to make pico de gallo, and then you say, first of all, you cut the guacamole.
Oh.
I'm going to show you how to make cereal. Yeah, first you bring the brisket out.
Oh!
Okay, let's start over.
That's awesome.
All right.
Why don't you stick to avocado with pico de gallo?
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. Guacamole with pico de gallo.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so
Okay.
3, 2.
Hi, I'm Sybil, and I'm going to show you how to make a traditional, well, I made the traditional pico de gallo. I can't do it.
Just say guacamole with pico de gallo. Don't worry about the pico. Your focal point is guacamole.
Oh, my stomach is hurting.
You're
All right.
freaking pico. Let it go.
Okay. So 3, 2.
Hi, I'm Sybil, and I'm gonna make an avocado.
She's gonna give birth to one.
It's all good.
You know, I heard if you play a country song backwards, you get your pickup truck back, your house back, your dog back, and your wife comes back to you. I can't confirm that. I feel like I should be, line dancing right now. So is it true that they call it Blanco because if you have too much, you go Blanco?
Yes,
Okay.
it is true.